All right, so long story short, I met this guy at the swap shop and we met up at a train station and I got 125 dead stock hats.
Holy crap, dude, no way.
And I paid 200 bucks and I gave him my bike. I ordered an Uber, the Uber's coming. What's going on, guys? Adventures of Con here, back with a brand new video. So this video is going to be all over the place, but I'm gonna try to explain the story the best I can. So about 2 weeks ago, I was going to the flea market, a typical day at the flea market, but I brought about 300 bucks cash on me and I was just down to go to the flea market, try to look for some jerseys because I mainly sell jerseys on my eBay store. And I was talking to my friend Al because it was kind of a slow day. And randomly this guy behind me was talking to Al and he was like, hey, do you want to buy some hats? Al said, hey, I'm not looking to buy inventory right now. I have a ton of stuff. And then I asked him if I could look at the hats. I go through his bag. He starts bringing out hats like in these little like plastic bags, kind of like this. He had them all wrapped up in plastic bags, probably like 10 hats per bag. And I was like, oh, how much do you want? And I started looking through them, started like, I'll just give you an example. I started pulling through them. I was like, oh, there's like a NASCAR one. And then all of a sudden I started seeing sports specialties, starter, scripts. There was no splashes, there was no shark tooths, but there was a ton of bangers. And I was putting them into my IKEA bag as fast as possible because I didn't want any other resellers, because the resellers in my area are kind of scumbags. If they saw that kind of deal happening, they would butt in and try to like, be like, oh, yo, I'll give you 20 bucks for that hat, I'll give you $5 for that one, blah, blah, blah. I stuffed in about 70 hats into my IKEA bag. And I told him, how much do you want? And he said, just give me anything you want. And I gave him a $100 bill. And he was like, oh, I have more at my place. He suggested that we meet up later to get more hats from his place. And I was like, I could go right now. I have the money. He was riding a bike and I have a bike. So I was like, let's do it right now. I have the money for you. And we headed off to basically the train station. So I just got all those hats and this guy's taking me into the ghetto. He's taking me into the ghetto to get the rest of the hats. I'm scared. He said there's 3 times the amount of hats that he gave me right now, and then later today he's gonna meet me. As we were riding, I noticed that he was riding a woman's bike, and I was like, damn, this guy definitely needs like a new bike. And I wasn't even thinking about it at the time, but as we were riding our bikes, he kept on mentioning how much he liked my bike. So once we get to the next stop, he brought out another 80 hats and they were all in a big trash bag. And as I kind of went through them, I was like realizing, I think this guy is homeless. I gave him my Cannondale Synapse, which is like a $500 to $600 bike, maybe even more than that. I just looked at the lowest priced ones on eBay and it's $450 for just the frame. So maybe the full bike, $600, $700. But I really knew that this guy needed a new bike. So I gave him that bike and I gave him another $100. So I gave him that bike and I gave him another $100. I've brought everything home and I have a crazy haul for you guys. Now he might come by later tonight and bring another 1,000. He said he had 1,000. I don't know if he's just capping, but you never know. You never know with these people. This whole row right here, I already sorted it, is sports specialties. That's the only thing I sorted. Everything else is just random, but you could see all the tags. This is probably one of the best hats and it's not even sports specialties. We got the Atlanta Hawks, like lightning, I don't even know what to call it. It is a snapback, but what brand is it by? Probably Drew Pearson. No, I don't think it's by a specific brand. But just the crazy design. I had to reshape it a little bit, but that could be like a $250 hat. I'm not positive. There's also some really good bangers in here, so I'll have to show you guys some of the better ones. But it was 150 hats for $200, plus I gave him my bike. It was a homeless guy that I met at the flea market. I was literally doing a deal with my other friend at his booth, buying some Disney stuff. I'll show you guys what I got. It's not crazy like this, but it's just some cool, I paid $5 each. And they are some Mickey Mouse cards from 1989, and then some Pinocchio pins from 1988. So I wanted those for the personal. I actually wasn't gonna buy them, but after the guy passed on the deal, it was just like too good of a deal to just, I had to bless the guy. I had to bless my friend. Shout out to the homie Al. He hooked it up. He gave me the 2 Disney pieces, or I guess 4 for $10. But honestly, the flea market was so bad, and there were so many other pickers there today that were like, yo, how did you come up on this? It was so bad. Not one person that I know found something today. I think there's probably like 5 that have broken snaps, and I'm pretty sure they're all this plaid one too. But here are some of my favorites. I could just see right off the bat. Iowa Hawkeyes corduroy strap back. There are some beautiful ones in here, guys. There are some killer ones. I'm gonna show you guys all the sports specialties because there are just so many sick ones. We got the Spurs, St. Louis Blues. I believe that's the Diamondbacks. Got a little Marlins. These are all sports specialties. Most of them are dead stock with the tags. Got a little Shadow, San Diego Chargers, UCLA, Sharks, San Jose Sharks. Just a random NHL Cup crazy. We got a Kentucky, Seattle Seahawks, another Seattle Seahawks. We got a Bruins, the Saints. Sports specialties, pretty much dead stock. Yeah, I'll call that dead stock because it's got the tags. We have the sports specialties Orlando Magic with the cool little dog tag. And this is gonna help me so much because right now I am fixing up my house. And I do have all the funds for it, but I do have to pay some friends back. So this $200 come up, I'm gonna say I make like roughly in a respectful way, probably like $5 grand. I'm not even joking. Like that's how good some of these hats are. Like most of these like sports specialties hats are around like 80 to 100 bucks. Some of them a little bit more, some a little bit less, but this is probably one of my biggest come ups ever. If I had to like think of something, and it came from like the most random thing ever. Like it was just so random of how it happened. Like I was just there at the flea market, right time. And I was literally on the floor at the flea market. Just pretend I'm like on the floor looking through this guy's bags of hats. And I was like stuffing them into my IKEA bag. And I was like, okay, I hope no one around me sees what I'm doing, because if somebody else saw it, someone could have been an asshole and just like sniped the deal. They could have been like, yo, I'll give you 300 for all the hats. I have no clue what could have happened, but I saw an opportunity to get some really dope hats. And I was like, holy crap, this is gonna be a come up. And he might bring more later. I don't know. He might have just been bullshitting, but he said there's 15 more boxes of hats. And I am gonna be so stoked if this actually comes true. I'm gonna show you guys later if I get anything else. If not, I'm gonna show you guys more hats later. I just gotta organize it better and try not to mess up anything. So hope everyone's having a good day, and stay safe and keep picking, because the deals are out there. You just gotta get lucky or be consistent and always grind. So that happened. I paid 200 bucks for 150 hats. Then he used that money to buy a phone, and he hit me up later that day at 4:30. He called me. I was in the kitchen just chilling, and I get a phone call. It's a 561 number, which is actually West Palm Beach, which was kind of surprising because we were all the way in Broward, which is 954. I get a call and he's like, hey, I got the hats, I'm coming, I'm on my way. And he gave me another 200 hats, but this time it was kind of funny because there was still really good hats. There's probably a good 120 hats that were solid sports specialties, starters, scripts, college teams, NFL, NBA, all of the teams that you guys would want to find. But then there was like 70 hats that were like BS, like gas station, like hats that said like veteran or like I'm a proud American. It was like the most random variety. I did not expect this guy to actually come back and bring me the hats. But this time he brought me a lot of bullshit hats, but he also brought me a lot of good ones. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not ungrateful or anything. I'm super grateful. He actually was able to buy himself a phone today with the money that I gave him this morning. And I was like, there's a 25% chance that this guy's actually gonna come back. So these hats are like trash, like just BS hats. I'm gonna use some of the snaps to fix some of the broken snaps on the good hats. These hats are like military, like Air Force type hats. Same with a couple of these. And these are like junk hats too that I might just try to bundle up and get like 50 to 100 bucks back for all of them. So I'm trying to like bundle those up. Some of them are like Corona, Budweiser, some racing hats. Actually, I'll make a pretty good racing bundle and probably get like 50 to 100 bucks for just the racing hats. But there are some crazy ones in this lot. We got the Cubs. I'm just gonna go through like one stack, but this is just crazy. We got the Dallas Mavericks sports specialties, little Betty Boop. Some of these are like mids, like this one's probably worth like 10, 15 bucks. But then there's some bangers in here that just like make up for it. Brand new tags, reach out and crush someone. Little Taz, Miami Dolphins. We got the LA Kings. We got a few of these 1996 Olympic hats. We got a Sabres, Duke. Man, there's some really good ones in here. I'm telling you guys, like this was one of my best hauls I've ever had. So many hats, probably like going through these hats and the other ones from earlier, probably $10,000 worth of hats, and I paid $600. So I did give him a little bit more because I knew he had to come over here and like drive. He had to have a friend take him. But this is honestly one of the craziest hauls I've ever even seen. I know my friend Gideon, like I said earlier, has found some crazy hats hauls, but this, to me, this is like one of my favorite hauls, and I am super grateful. I'm gonna keep organizing this, and I'll show you guys more, but there's just so many hats. So I paid $600 for 274 hats. Yes, there was a little bit more hats, as in like these ones and those ones, but $600 for 274 good hats. So I took them all and I gave them another $400. So basically that's the story. And a lot of people think it's like the weirdest story, and it's literally the craziest timing. I think it's all about timing. You don't have to get there super early. This was at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't like 5 o'clock where all these like swap shop nerds go at like 5 a.m. and they're like, oh dude, you gotta get there right when people are pulling stuff out of their car. I'm like, I come up all the time and I get there right at like 7:30. And I just happened to run into this guy at the right time, at the right moment. And it was just insane. 274 hats for $600. So I'm throwing this clip into the video because I kind of got sidetracked in the rest of the video that I filmed, and I just wanted to give you guys the breakdown on what sold and how much stuff I have listed, yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna do an exact breakdown of like everything that sold, but so far we have sold 81 hats for a total of $3,085 with a total profit of $2,485, and that was 2 weeks after finding the haul. This is now 3 weeks after finding the haul, and I sold another 3 hats for $360. And then there are 52 hats active on eBay for the total like value of the hats is $8,580. And then I still need to list roughly 125 hats. I have gave a couple away to friends for free, and I have worn 2. So I have this one that I got from the haul, and I got a South Park hat that I got from the haul. There is going to be a video showing you guys like some of the biggest sales. I sold one hat for $450, which was an Indians hat, and I sold another Raiders hat for $350. And then the next week, I actually met Bam Margera, and he signed the shoes that I picked up in the last video. But it was an awesome experience meeting him, and he was really nice. Got these Bam Margera for $15, basically dead stock early Y2K shoes, probably $200 plus shoes. They are super hard to find.
We have made it to Florida, and tomorrow we'll be headed down to Miami, followed by Margate at a place called Flynn's Arcade. So anything you want signed, bring it, and we got posters and skateboards, rock and roll.
When you're spending every day on your own, and here it goes.
This is incredible. Unreal.
I'm just a kid.